There's a cheat code to almost every game, and the points and miles game is no different. I'm not talking about up, up, down, down, left, right. No, I'm referring to the tag team co-op team up setup you can use in the credit card game, and it's called two-player mode. And today, I have 4 finisher move strategies you and a partner can use to get the highest scores possible. But before you hit that start button, hi, I'm Lonnie, and point stacking is not an easy skill to learn, but it can be incredibly rewarding if done right. Then what's better than an individual win? A team win. Getting max points for that high score vacation. With any game, you can do just that with a good teammate, like Mario and Yoshi. We do agree that Yoshi is a better teammate than Luigi, right? No debate? The whole point of a 2-player setup is to earn and use those points and miles you get together. Once you and your second player both have those points, then you will either pool or combine them together, or book different parts of the trips independently of one another, such as Sonic books the plane tickets and Tails will book the hotels. There are different ways to pool and use your points, but it's dependent on the card issuer. For example, Chase will allow 2 people within the same household to transfer points across 2 separate accounts, but American Express does not, meaning you'd want to split bookings with your Amex points. I'll get more into that later. Now, there are 4 different Player 2 configuration options to consider when getting into the credit card game: doubling up, authorized user, swapping players, and tag teaming. I'll be going over all these today, explaining the pros and cons of how to max your points and providing my personal experiences with all these options from my own 2-player setup. Let's get into it. The first and easiest option to consider in a 2-player setup is what I call the double up. This is when you and your second player both get the same card. By doing this, you're able to get points from your respective everyday spending and gain points independently of each other. A good example of this is you both have the Chase Freedom Flex card. Since this card gets 5% back on rotating quarterly categories up to $1,500, which would translate into 7,500 Chase points. Just for fun, let's pretend that quarterly category is target, shall we? You and your second player can max that 5% across 2 cards for up to 15,000 points per quarter versus just 7,500 on just 1 card by itself. And you might be saying, who spends $3,000 at Target in 90 days? And to that I say, a whole lot of people. Now, the double up method does not work out well with every card, such as with cards with an annual fee, especially a high annual fee, or the perks cancel each other out, like with the 4 points per dollar on dining at US grocery stores with the Amex Gold. If you and your player 2 share or split grocery and takeout expenses, like a family that lives in the same house, you're paying for second annual fee to receive the exact same benefit you can get with a single card. If this is not the case, such as you live with roommates or have a sibling or close friend that lives somewhere else who you won't be sharing your spend with, then go for it. Also, if it's a $0 annual fee card, like the Chase Freedom cards or Built MasterCard, then 100% go for it. And if you don't care about paying double annual fees, then don't let me stop you. Okay, pause real quick. Don't stop me either. Help keep me going by hitting that subscribe button. And if you're already subscribed, then thanks. One up. Hit that like button instead and share with a friend. Costs you nothing, means a whole lot to me. I appreciate it, okay? Unpause. But an alternative option to paying double annual fees could be adding an authorized user, which is our next player 2 option and also the most common. An authorized user is an additional card holder that you add to your account. You hear about this most often with families with older children. The parents may add their son or daughter to their account and give them their own card that they can use for going out or in case of emergency while away at college or living in another city. But it's always for going out. Using my previous example with the Amex Gold card, instead of each player getting their own card that's responsible for a $250 annual fee, player 1 could add player 2 as an authorized user instead for $0. Now, in my opinion, this is a better option with Amex cards because, unlike with Chase, who lets you consolidate points with another member of your household, you cannot combine Amex points across individual accounts, even if you're living in the same house. But at least, now you won't have to go through the hassle of tracking 2 $10 credits a month on 2 separate cards. You can add an authorized user where now dining and groceries are covered between both of you with the same amount of points and are now consolidated in a single account, which is easier to keep track of and saving you from paying paying a second $250 annual fee, as additional cardholders for the Amex Gold are free. And this still leaves it open for player 2 to get an Amex Gold later, just in case a great welcome offer comes up you both want to take advantage of. Now, the Amex Gold is just one example. This could also apply to the Amex Platinum as well, especially if you're going to share the benefits of the card. Instead of two $695 annual fees, you can add an authorized user to the Platinum card for $195 instead. Still not the cheapest annual fee, but it does save you some money. The only drawback of the authorized user option is that you only get one welcome bonus. So if that welcome offer is sweet, like 90,000 or 150,000 points, I recommend you weigh the options for you and your setup first, or consider the swapping method, which I'm going to talk about next. Swapping is when player 1 gets the card, then at a later date, downgrades or cancels it. And that's when player 2 gets the exact same card. This is best with families or committed couples within the same house, as it ensures there's always an active top tier card in their setup. As per Chase's Sapphire rules, if you cancel or downgrade the preferred or reserve card, you have to wait 48 months before being eligible for another welcome bonus. So with swapping, player 1 gets the card and the welcome bonus. Then, when able and ready, either cancels or downgrades it. This is when player 2 gets the card for their welcome bonus and keeps it for the next 4 years or more, waiting for player 1 to be eligible for a welcome bonus again. Once player 1's 4 years are up, player 2 can now cancel or downgrade their card, allowing player 1 to get the card again along with another welcome bonus. And it just keeps going back and forth like this over time as a continuous 4-year cycle of welcome bonuses. And if you time it just right, you can swap when welcome bonuses are high, ensuring you always get the best offers. This could also help avoid double paying high annual fees, while also keeping a heavy hitter or high value card in your shared strategy. Play this correctly with consolidating your points across Chase account, and you and your teammate can guarantee yourselves a luxury vacation every 4 years.
Let's go!
Now, that's how you tag team points. So, actually, no, that's my next strategy. Tag teaming is a shared method where player 1 gets a card and player 2 gets a different version of the same card. This option is most versatile because depending on your spending, any 2 cards could fit, no matter if they're from the same card family or not. Bear with me, I'll explain more of this in a second. Now, annual fees could be high depending on how you build your tag team approach. For example, in my tag team setup is $645 across both my Sapphire Reserve and my player 2 Sapphire Preferred, as this is the best way to cover the majority of our monthly expenses to cast a wide net across our spending to get the most points. Another popular example of this could be again with the Amex Gold and Platinum. And remember when I said earlier you can't combine points across accounts with Amex like you can with Chase? Not a problem here, as this is where tag teaming can be the most beneficial, especially if you're new to the game, because you can tag team how you redeem your points when booking your travel. Hear me out. Using Amex as an example this time, player 1, or whoever has the most points, uses their points to book the flights for both players, as the flights will normally require the most amount of points because you have to buy 2 seats. Then, player 2 uses their points to book the hotel or anything else needed, like a rental car. And these usually require less amount of points, as you only need to book 1 room or 1 car, which you would both share, unlike an airline seat. And this takes us back to what I said a minute ago. It doesn't matter if the cards come from the same family or not. Let's say you have a close friend, or in the early stages of a relationship. Maybe you have a roommate you want to travel with, but are not fully committed to combining your points just yet. Roommate 1 could get the built card that earns points from all the rent expenses each month, and roommate 2 could get the Amex Gold and add roommate 1 as an authorized user, and then use that card for all the grocery and food costs. You still split the expenses, the points earned across both accounts could even out, and it's still a tag team setup, but you've diversified your spending, got the most points, and have someone to travel with. That's a win in my book. So as you can see, playing any game is more fun with a good teammate. No matter if you're a Link and Zelda, Arthur and John Marston, or a Joel and Ellie, you're prepared for any boss level of the credit card game. What do you need to learn next? How about hit continue and start with this video here. Peace.